Hello, and welcome to the Carolyn Berry K Performing Arts Auditorium. In a few moments, we will begin the 2022 commencement ceremony of Florida Atlantic University's Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. As we prepare to welcome our graduates, we would like to emphasize how much we all want to make this important occasion an orderly ceremony and ensure that all graduates receive the recognition they have earned. To that end, we would like you to now please silence all cell phones and electronic devices that could mar the dignity of the ceremony for our graduates. Air horns and other noisemakers may call attention to a particular individual, but at the expense of disturbing the ceremony for all others, denying the graduates and their families the honor of hearing their names called. Please refrain from using such devices. The ceremony will begin with the procession of graduates, family hooders, faculty, and the platform party. Following musical selections and remarks by invited speakers, the awarding of Doctor of Medicine degrees will begin. The ceremony will conclude with the processional.
A professional photographer will take 3 photos of each student. One as they are hooded, a second when they are getting their diplomas, and a third individual portrait when they are off stage. The fire marshal requires that we keep all aisles clear, so we must ask you not to leave your seat to take individual pictures. We are also required by Florida law to advise you to take note of the nearest fire exit where you should proceed in the event of an emergency. Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
And now, to honor the 2022 graduating class of Doctors of Medicine of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine, please rise for the processional.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome University Marshal Dr. William Trapani.
Good morning. On behalf of the entire faculty of Florida Atlantic University, welcome to the 2022 commencement ceremony of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine. The FAU, yes. The FAU Brass Ensemble of the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters, Department of Music, will perform our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner, followed by America the Beautiful with Dr. Kyle Prescott, Director of Bands conducting, and soloist Dr. Mitchell Hastings. Please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Julie Politzis, Dean and Vice President for Medical Affairs.
Good morning and welcome. Please join me in giving a round of applause to the FAU Brass Ensemble of the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters. I would like to welcome the class of 2022. And our honored guests, your parents, partners, children, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and all family and friends. Before addressing our graduating class, I would also like to recognize the many people who have been instrumental to the success of today's graduates. Please hold your applause until the end. First, I invite our College of Medicine core and affiliate faculty, residents, graduate students, staff, and members of our hospital partners to stand and be recognized. Thank you on behalf of our graduating students and our entire College of Medicine community. Next, I invite members of FAU leadership, including President Kelly, Vice Provost Hawkins, members of the executive leadership team, and the FAU Board of Trustees to stand and be recognized. We are deeply grateful for your support. Third, I invite members of the College of Medicine Advisory Board and all members of our local and state government who are here to stand and be recognized. Finally, I would like to acknowledge Dick and Barb Schmidt for their steadfast support of the Schmidt College of Medicine, along with all our donors. I look forward to working with all of you and doing great things. Thank you to everybody that has been mentioned and all others that have not been mentioned who have contributed to the success of our college and today's graduating class. One more round of applause, please. Aquellos en nuestra comunidad que hablan español, me gustaría dar un gran bienvenidos. Cuando le dije a mi amiga, que es cubana de Miami, que me estaba mudando al sur de la Florida, me dijo que tenía que aprender español. Desde ese tiempo, he pasado muchas horas practicando. Todavía tengo que aprender mucho. Sin embargo, es esencial para mí que sepan que todos en nuestra escuela de medicina y en nuestra comunidad está incluido. A todos los abuelos, padres y familiares de nuestros estudiantes, profesores y residentes, gracias. Gracias por su apoyo y por conformarnos a su familia. Todos ellos se han convertido en parte de nuestra familia. A nuestra clase de graduados de 2022 me gustaría expresar mis más sinceras felicitaciones. To our graduating class of 2022, I would like to express my heartfelt congratulations on your wonderful achievement. Though I've been hoping to be a dean of a medical college for a better part of a decade, I had not thought about what I would say to a graduating class about to embark on their next phase of life. What would be most meaningful? What would you remember about this day many years from now? For me, thinking back on my medical school graduation, I remember that my family came, my grandmother Julia, my parents, my sister, my aunts, uncles, cousins, and my best friends. I remember watching my family interact with my medical school mentors and my old and new friends meeting. Look around you. This is your family and the community that will be your support system as you start the next part of your journey. Recuerdo que mis amigos y familiares y la comunidad de la Escuela de Medicina se unieron para apoyarme. Es esta comunidad la que será su sistema de apoyo en cuanto que comencé su viaje. Esta es su familia. Today is a wonderful day, and it is my deepest wish that most of your days to come will likewise be wonderful. Life, however, sometimes has other plans for us. We may find ourselves feeling very alone. Your residencies may have you moving to a new city hundreds of miles away or even thousands of miles away with no one you know there. You may find yourselves there needing a friend or just someone to let in, a worker to fix the air conditioner or the heat. Yes, in Albany, New York, where I came from, in April, we still need the heat. This alone can be daunting when you are working 80 hours a week and feeling like you are in over your head or having imposter syndrome that hits all of us when we are new residents. Going from mastering medical school to not knowing how to order a blood thinner or an antibiotic or blood pressure medication correctly can be daunting. Phrases like, "What do we normally do?" will become commonplace. Let me tell you a secret. I have uttered that very phrase many times over the last few months to Drs. Wood and Caceres and others. What they and all the FAU community has done for me is what they have done for you and what we will continue to do. We will support you wherever you go and wherever the journey takes you. We will always be a text, email, or call away. Most importantly, we are here to tell you to persevere. We believe in you. We know that you are ready and that you will succeed. I can tell you that there were many times during my residency that I wondered if I was going to make it. I moved 1,000 miles from New Jersey to Detroit. I was one of 25 surgical interns, the only woman. I knew no one in Michigan. My mother would fly out when I needed someone to take in my car or let somebody into the house. After my first neurosurgical rotation, I had moments of doubt and actually started looking into moving back nearer to home. Fortunately, I had gone to medical school with a community much like ours, and I talked to my longtime mentor, Dr. John Pott. He helped me to see that this wasn't an insurmountable situation, but rather a minor issue in the whole of life. My parents always, and now my husband, and all my mentors have told me that I could do anything I wanted. And it was that sense of support and community that helped me get through medical school, residency, and my career. I want to say this in Spanish too, because I think many of our family and friends are here thinking, what can we do to help? Lo mejor que podemos hacer por nuestros nuevos graduados es seguir diciéndolos que puedan hacerlo. You've got this. Persevere. You will develop a new community of friends and colleagues. It is important to make those friends not only with other physicians, but also with the people that you interact with on a daily basis. I made it through my 9 years of training, that's right, 9 years, with a handful of close physician colleagues, but many, many friends who were nurses, therapists, ward clerks, and physician assistants. It is the whole medical community that will rally behind you and become your needed support system. These relationships have been essential to me throughout my career. Medicine is a team sport. And if you realize this and are able to embrace the team as you go forward, you will be far happier and less prone to burnout. Always remember, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Starting next year, we will begin robust alumni programming. We welcome you back to campus next week during graduation week. I realize that intern year is tough when time is not your own, but each year forward we will have similar events. It will be a wonderful time to reconnect and help pay it forward to our next generation of our community. Congratulations to the class of 2022. It is now my pleasure to introduce the president of Florida Atlantic University, Dr. John Kelly.
Thank you, Dr. Politzis. I actually didn't know you had all those other talents. It's amazing. Every time I meet her or with her, she has another talent that shows up. Members of the faculty, special guests, parents, friends, and members of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine, the class of 2022. It is with such great pleasure I extend a warm welcome to you this morning. Today we begin a celebration of the graduation of the 8th class of students to earn the Doctor of Medicine degree here at Florida Atlantic University. I've had the privilege of being with each of those 8 ceremonies. I also have to give you great accolades for the perseverance that you had to work through these very difficult times. Graduates, this is a culmination of a journey that began in the fall of 2018, went up against amazing sets of odds. You were selected from a field of nearly 3,500 applicants to fill just 64 slots that were available in this incoming class. You were the cream of the crop, and you wasted no time in distinguishing yourself in your academic and your clinical work, in your clerkships, and in your compassionate outreach to the community. In each of these areas, you set high standards to those that will follow in your footsteps, and we take great pride in your stellar accomplishments. The fact that you achieved a 100% residency match during a time in which 2 of you got married, 3 got engaged, 1 became a parent, speaks volumes about you, your talent, and your commitment to your calling, as well as the dedication and effectiveness of your faculty and the excellence of the medical education program. Today, 13 of you will be hooded by siblings, parents, and
indeed you have been transformational. And speaking of success, Dean Politzis, in only 3 months at the College of Medicine, has already deeply impressed everyone with her vision, expertise, and community outreach. Dear graduating physicians of 2022, compared to when I graduated from medical school over 50 years ago, you have a much greater repertoire of knowledge about the intricacies of the human body and the human mind, and consequently a much greater opportunity to provide solutions for your patients throughout your careers. I fervently pray that you also are allowed to maintain the blessed treasure of an uninterrupted doctor-patient relationship, which is critical for success and happiness. Bureaucracies can be helpful in structuring methods, but they also are inclined to be intrusive and can become awkward hurdles in achieving favorable outcomes. Physician wellness and satisfaction with your career has become an extremely important concern here, and we are committed to giving you every tool available to thoroughly enjoy your practice. I'd like to share a bit of history from a personal perspective, particularly speaking to the families and friends gathered here who may not be aware of our history, and which might be helpful to expand your sense of pride in this College of Medicine, pride in yourselves as new graduates, and the school's incredibly rapid rise to prominence. In the past, a medical care commission was appointed for a 4-year term to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the healthcare system in this area. I was privileged to chair the commission. After our exhaustive analysis, we submitted our findings to the Palm Beach County Board of Commissioners and the Florida Legislature. One of our recommendations was that the county would benefit from a medical school having never had one. I was contacted by the Dean of the University of Miami Medical School, who urged me to function as a consultant. And here's the best part. One of my assignments was to be a liaison with FAU, where Miami sent some of its students through the biomedical science program here. It quickly became obvious that there was a unique energy here, a striving for excellence, a supportive, generous community, a superbly skilled faculty, and leadership that required independence from Miami to achieve its goals. It was mesmerizing to see FAU organize on a record-setting, rapid quest to achieve state support for an independent school here that led to accreditation in April of 2011. Within 2 months, a first class was selected. And the rest is history. And your school has become a symbol of excellence that is recognized across the nation. Many people have contributed to the success of the school. I'd like to acknowledge the advisory board, a very active group of committed individuals whose primary purpose is to raise scholarships funds for you so that you can make decisions based on what your heart tells you rather than what your finances dictate. By reducing student debt, we can maximize your options. I'm pleased to say that 74% of this class were recipients of scholarship funding. With the many challenges facing healthcare today, there is a great need for the next generations of physicians to be community-minded and socially conscious, in addition to being experts in the practice of medicine. Our focus must always remain on the patient, a more satisfying exchange of information, and quality of care over quantity of care. This region's growing population, aging baby boomers, and the number of physicians retiring soon will increase pressure on the system. To meet this demand, we will need dedicated physicians who are trained and committed to improving the access to care in our region. We are very proud that all of you were matched with the graduate medical education of your choice, and a few of you are attending our own developed residencies within our superb consortium of local medical centers. I hope, sincerely hope, that each of you, regardless of your geographic choice for further training, will return here so that we will not only have trained you, but also retain you for the care of your neighbors. As a former trustee of FAU, in addition to my role at the College of Medicine, I see your graduation at an entirely higher level of achievement. Owls are soaring. Whenever it appears that FAU has reached its apotheosis, amazing things happen to further improve its position in education. FAU continues to have the highest scores for improved performance in metrics provided by the Board of Governors. So you are not only graduates of a great medical program, but also of a great university. The only thing FAU needs to have full parity with those prestigious schools in the north is to plant ivy on the walls of the campus buildings. Blessings to each of you and every one of you, and you prepare for your future. God bless and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Dennis. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce Ms. Sonia Chistoff, President of the 2022 graduating class of the Schmidt College of Medicine.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, President Kelly, Board of Trustees, FAU leadership, Dean Politzis, Dr. Wood, Dr. Caceres, Dr. Gunderson, esteemed faculty, family, loved ones, and the class of 2022. Thank you all for being here and giving me the privilege to speak today. My name is Dr. Sonia Chistoff. I know I'm about 30 minutes shy of the title, but I thought I'd take it for a test drive. And I had the distinct pleasure of serving as the first ever female class president of the class of 2022. With this position, I was also given the honor on speaking on behalf of my fellow classmates, and perhaps to even bestow some parting thoughts on this momentous day. Commencement is a word used to describe an extravagant ceremony where diplomas and degrees are distributed and received, but the word is also defined as the beginning or start of something. This custom is aptly named then. Here we are, dressed in robes like we attend Hogwarts, celebrating the end of a small portion in a decades-long journey towards physicianhood. Yet, we are also celebrating the beginning of a new chapter, as we launch forward into the training to mature into the physicians that we dreamed of becoming. It only makes sense then that I begin this speech at the commencement of all of our journeys, and that is with their families. I want to extend a tremendous thank you to our parents, siblings, relatives, loved ones, and friends, both here and in spirit, who have continuously supported and cultivated our pursuit of this amazing achievement that we're here celebrating today. You all have been on the receiving end of countless phone calls, text messages, and tear-ridden FaceTimes when it seemed that medical school, and perhaps medicine in general, was too much for us to handle. In fact, it was you who reassured us that there was no evidence to support our hypothesis. All of you have been practicing evidence-based medicine far longer than we were, and reminded us of every goal we set and met on the voyage thus far. You were our cheerleaders through FBS, NSB, FOM, PTs 1 through 4, PBL, IQ, SLIC, NBME, USMLE, and all of the other acronyms you didn't understand or couldn't remember, but were assured were very difficult and exhausting. I know that I can speak for every member of my class when I say that your care and encouragement were fundamental and the reason that we're all sitting here today. Class of 2022, please join me by standing and giving a round of applause to our family and friends, loved ones. As today is equally a celebration of them as it is a celebration of us. This journey that began many years ago was clearly not taken alone and would not have been nearly as successful without the guidance and support of the countless mentors, advisors, teachers, professors, faculty, physicians, and deans. To the deans in the Office of Student Affairs, Dr. Caceres, Dr. Gunderson, and of course, Dr. Markowitz, thank you for your tireless efforts to make sure that every student was seen, heard, and appreciated as we all set out in achieving our individual aspirations. I also want to take a moment to have a special shout out and thank you to Joanna Duran, Annie Thomas, and all of the amazing staff at the Office of Student Affairs, who are really the heart and soul of this medical school, who organize every event seamlessly, including this one, and provide every resource in their power to make our lives easier. Also, I want to thank the Office of Medical Education, and notably Dr. Wood, our Dean of Medical Education and former interim dean, for her continuous efforts to uplift and elevate our relatively new medical school into the academic powerhouse that I believe it soon will be revered as. To the many amazing faculty members that offered their knowledge to us, we thank you for constantly aiding us in our quest for understanding and emphasizing the need of becoming lifelong learners, an invaluable skill that will strengthen us as physicians and advocates in our role as clinicians. This experience would not have been anything without the combined determination and effort that you have all of you so graciously given us, and that we are forever indebted to you. A final, and maybe the most vital thank you, should be addressed to the hospitals and communities that opened their arms to us medical students, and who taught us the most crucial lesson about medicine, which is that we're entering the occupation of interacting and treating patients. We thank you for entrusting us with your darkest times, your illnesses, but most importantly, your health. Now, with all the thank yous out of the way, on to the class of 2022. Well. We've made it. We're all doctors. There is an ongoing debate amongst class presidents about which class is the best of all time, and I have it on good authority that it is the class of 2022. First and foremost, we are the most admired by administration and faculty. I'm sorry. Dr. Caceres, I knew I said that I'd keep that our little secret. Secondly, and I believe most importantly, it's our amazing triumphs over the past 4 years. We have published articles in prestigious scientific journals. We scored above the national average on our board exams. We matched students into neurosurgery, dermatology, orthopedic surgery, interventional radiology, and among the other amazing specialties in top residency programs across the country. I must also add that we did this during a tiny little teeny measly global pandemic. Despite being academically impressive and incredibly good looking, the quality of our class that I would want to emphasize the most would be our camaraderie. I don't want to cause any PTSD flashbacks from interview season when I say that our class is like a family, but I would like to say that ours is, even if we're a bit dysfunctional. Like any family, we didn't get to choose our members, but we were hand-selected by an admissions office with excellent taste. We had our own personal IT wizard, our own doctor before becoming doctors, a professional baker, our own class mom, and even the overachieving babies of our class. Like any family, we even had our feuds, often set in the student lounge post-exam, screaming about text questions, while professional level ping pong was being played in the background. Even between the rigorous studying, we even had a chance to have some fun. Our group chat meme exchange is a thing of legend. And our outings to the OG, or Rhythm and Vine, are nights that I am sure we will look fondly upon while we're withering away on call in the hospital in the coming years. We all loved our time here at FAU so much and are so committed to the education we receive here, some of us so much they even felt compelled to get a commemorative tattoo, which, like any healthy family, we teased mercilessly. I would like to end with this. Each and every one of you are caring, empathetic people who have dedicated and will continue to dedicate your lives in the service of others. We have sacrificed hours spent in the library. We have missed family events or timed with loved ones and friends, all in the pursuit of knowledge to make a lasting impact in the lives of the patients and communities that we will treat in the future. This is truly one of the most noble professions that will continue to provide meaning and fulfillment to us all. As a future psychiatrist, I would be remiss to not remind my dear classmates, you cannot pour from an empty cup. In the same breath that I can promise gratification, I can also promise that there will be difficult cases, sleepless nights, and life events that will test your resolve and maybe even your commitment to medicine. I don't want to sound like a broken record from orientation 4 years ago, but you are your first patient. My wish for all of you is that your cup is overfilled with energy, enthusiasm, and passion for what you do. But if you ever do find that your cup is running a bit dry, I know that I can speak for every person in this auditorium when I say I hope you will reach out to your parents, relatives, siblings, loved ones, friends, and your FAU family if you ever do need a refill. I am so excited to see where all of your undeniably successful careers will take you and the amazing accomplishments that are yet to come. Thank you so much again for letting me speak today. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as Madam President. Congratulations, class of 2022. We did it.
That was really awesome, Dr. Chistoff. Thank you. May I now call up Drs. Jennifer Caceres, Liz Gunderson, and Sarah Wood to present awards to the members of your class.
Thank you, Dean Politzis. It is my pleasure to present the TICO Prize. The TICO Prize was established by the Ernst and Gertrude Tico Charitable Foundation to honor the life and work of Ernst Tico, PhD, and Gertrude Tico, MD. It is presented to a graduating student who demonstrated excellence in psychiatry, in academic work, and in clinical clerkships, as well as empathy, respect for the suffering of the mentally ill, and compassion for all patients while a medical school student. This year, the TICO Prize goes to Sarah Milrad. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists District 12, Florida Medical Student Achievement Award recognizes medical students for their outstanding achievement in the study of obstetrics and gynecology and outstanding achievement in the service of obstetrics and gynecology. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists District 12, Florida Medical Student Achievement Award is presented to Shireen Jayakumar.
It is my pleasure to present the Greenwald Award for Academic Excellence established by Dr. Richard and Mrs. Shelley Greenwald. This award is presented to the member of the graduating class with the highest overall academic standing. This year, the Greenwald Award for Academic Excellence goes to Katherine Johnson. The Ira J. Gelb MD Award for Exemplary Service was endowed by Mrs. June Gelb in honor of Dr. Gelb and the extraordinary qualities that he possessed. Dr. Ira J. Gelb was a visionary trailblazer, a compassionate clinician, dedicated mentor, and above all, a leader committed to serving his students, university, and community. This award is presented annually to a graduate who best exemplifies the characteristics of Dr. Gelb and demonstrates an outstanding commitment to service and community. The Ira J. Gelb MD Award for Exemplary Service is presented to Tofumi Ashodi. The Leonard Tao Humanism in Medicine Award, presented by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation, is presented to a graduating medical student who best exemplifies integrity, excellence, compassion, altruism, respect, empathy, and service. The purpose of the award is to recognize the value of humanism in the delivery of care to patients and their families. The Leonard Tao Humanism in Medicine Award is presented to Reynold Paloca.
It is my great pleasure to present the Carolyn McConnell McGill MD Award. This award was created by Dr. Lindsay Henson, our founding education dean, to honor a woman graduate who best exemplifies the characteristics of Carolyn McConnell McGill, PhD, MD, a teacher, scholar, compassionate physician, and philanthropist who founded the Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana. This year, the Carolyn McConnell McGill MD Award goes to Jacqueline Rice. It is now my distinct pleasure to present the final award, the Luther W. Holloway Award. This award is named in honor of the first president of the Florida chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics. It is given annually to honor a graduating medical student who is pursuing a career in pediatrics and has been actively involved in pediatric advocacy work while in medical school. This year, the Luther W. Holloway Award goes to Catherine Acosta Hozinski. A big round of applause for all the awardees, and if they'd come to the front of the stage for a final photo.
Congratulations to all our awardees. Thank you, Drs. Caceres, Gunderson, and Wood. It is now my pleasure and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Jeffrey Young. Dr. Young leads the new Transforming the Healthcare Workforce Unit, an extension of his responsibility leading the AAMC's Strategic Action Plan 4, which aims to significantly increase the number of underrepresented medical school applicants and matriculants. His unit's work is focused on the education, professional development, and wellness of future healthcare workers, along with creating viable pathways for historically excluded groups to enter the healthcare profession. Focus areas include disseminating research and data that provide insights on trends, structural inequities, and institutional culture that impact the diversity of the healthcare workforce, and scanning the full medical education continuum to highlight promising practices, leverage points of intersection, and inform resource development that support innovations to UME and GME. His team is also recognized as leaders in holistic review and selection and pre-medical and applicant resources, providing inspiration, resources, data, and tools so that anyone can aspire to a career in medicine. Before joining the AAMC in 2011, Dr. Young served in leadership positions in medical school admissions and student affairs at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, Virginia Commonwealth, and the Medical College of Georgia at Augusta University. He's originally from the same county in New Jersey I'm from. I learned this at dinner last night. And then he went on to earn his bachelor's from Hampton University and his master's and PhD in clinical psychology from The Ohio State University. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Jeffrey Young. Dr. Young.
Well, good morning. And I just want to thank you for inviting me here today. I'm very excited and humbled to be able to share a few thoughts with you. So to President Kelly, Vice Provost Hawkins, College of Medicine Advisory Board Chairman Dr. Dennis, Dean Philitzis, forgive me, Dr. Caceres, distinguished platform guests, faculty, staff, graduates of the class of 2022, and their family and friends. Again, thank you for inviting me to share a few thoughts with you about my experiences and to share some things regarding my thoughts about the graduating class of 2022. It's truly an honor to be with you today. I started my career in undergraduate medical education in the early 1990s at a medical school in New Jersey, Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, and then worked at a school in Georgia, Medical College of Georgia, just before joining the Association of American Medical Colleges. I often reflect on the positive impact my tenure at these two medical schools had on my personal and professional life. I learned so much working in multiple roles as a student affairs dean, a dean of multicultural affairs, an admissions dean, and a faculty member. Just as importantly, I made many friends and colleagues and was mentored and challenged to grow in ways I couldn't have imagined. And as I look out to see all of your faces, the graduating class of 2022, I'm reminded that of some of my most fondest memories are of students who enriched my life. Students were incredibly accomplished, multi-talented, and multi-dimensional, with diverse experiences and backgrounds that enhanced the learning environment for each other and for faculty and staff. I had the privilege to witness, and with some, students actively participate in their growth and development as they progressed through the rigors of medical school. Students evolved from being relatively inexperienced college graduates to learners capable of integrating and applying critical basic science knowledge and H&P skills to care for patients and their families during the clerkship year. They did so with compassion, empathy, and a level of appropriate and healthy anxiety and self-doubt, but also with a commitment to continuing to growing and learning the art of medicine. As with many of you, these students did all of this while engaged in organizational leadership community advocacy, raising a family, and supporting loved ones. They were all well-rounded and in time discovered and began to own their superpowers. By the time I met with students to support their residency application, they had transformed into young professionals. They had managed good and challenging times during medical school, and by graduation, were genuinely prepared for the next phase of their professional journey. My time in undergraduate medical education was priceless. I was always humbled by our students' ability to manage life while being a medical student, and I learned so much from them. And to this day, in my current role at the Association of American Medical Colleges, I leverage my experiences gained at those medical schools to advocate for students at a national level. I share my experiences with you this morning because I'm 100% confident that you are just the type of students I described. The class of 2022, however, is also unique. A global health pandemic disrupted your medical education in COVID-19, and a social justice movement after the world witnessed several killings of Black men and women by police, violence against Asian communities, and others. At some level, I believe we are still living in an unprecedented time. The pandemic of COVID-19 and racism touched and continue to touch all of us in some capacity. Every one of us has had to process these realities on personal, professional, and organizational levels. Many national organizations, academic health centers, and medical schools publicly acknowledge that medicine, as a microcosm of our larger society, has a long history of systemic racism and is not immune from the racist policies and procedures that negatively impact Black and brown and other marginalized communities. This is evidenced by the disproportionate impact of the coronavirus on communities of color, disproportionately high maternal mortality rates for people who identify as Black, American Indian, and Alaska Native, and later diagnoses, differential treatment, and ultimately higher mortality rates for Black individuals diagnosed with breast and colon cancer. During this time, Florida Atlantic University also responded to address the impact of systemic racism. The university developed student success programs for minoritized populations through the Center of Inclusion, Diversity Education, and Advocacy. And the FAU Schmidt College of Medicine developed a Justice, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Council, referred to as the JEDI Council, I love that name, where each unit at the College of Medicine has designated JEDI guardians to ensure engagement across the medical school to champion JEDI initiatives within the departments to achieve the action steps identified in the college's Race to Equity strategic plan. The Association of American Colleges, where I work, also reaffirmed its commitment to speaking out against systemic racism and police brutality and how they negatively impact communities of color, the poor, and other vulnerable communities. We're continuing our commitment to establishing the Center for Health Justice and the creation of strategic action plans focusing on creating more inclusive, equitable environments in medical school and teaching hospitals, and increasing significantly the number of Black, American Indian, Alaska Native, Hispanic, and first-generation medical school applicants, matriculants, and graduates. So it's been quite a 2 years, but what have we learned? What's really different? Within academic medicine, we have validated the importance of ongoing critical and at times uncomfortable conversations addressing systemic racism, healthcare inequities, and social determinants of health in their role in the quality of care delivered to diverse patient populations. Medical schools have also revived their emphasis and commitment to teaching about healthcare disparities, systemic racism, and the socioeconomic determinants of health. They continue to work on building diverse classes and faculty cohorts and on improving institutional culture and climate to enable everyone to thrive. I've also witnessed medical schools and academic health centers reassess how they interact and engage with their local communities, focusing on earning trust and approaching them as partners and experts in their own context. Partnering with our surrounding communities only strengthens our ability to be effective and efficient agents of change to address healthcare equality and health equity in general. Academic medicine also rose and continues to rise to the challenge of COVID-19 in our patient care, research, and educational missions, pivoting, innovating, and prioritizing. For example, medical education faculty and staff quickly transitioned to online formats where small groups convened as virtual teams. We also shifted to virtual electives and away rotations, increased the use of telemedicine for both patient care and education. We moved from virtual admissions and residency selection processes. Academic medicine demonstrated a level of nimbleness that some would have said was not possible. Concurrently, I believe that we have begun and need to continue to acknowledge how the racialized and pandemic trauma and political unrest on top of the usual stressors of medical education impacted the mental health of medical students, faculty, and staff. And we know there is still much to be done. So collectively, I believe that we've demonstrated resilience, adaptability, and courage. I want to especially acknowledge the work of you, our medical students, who in a time of crisis always step up and fill critical voids despite your role as learners and despite having many other commitments and obligations. As I talked to student affairs deans from across the country, I consistently heard that you, the students, joined together to accelerate conversations about social justice, the value and importance of service learning, and community and civic advocacy. You would not accept the status quo. The FAU Schmidt College of Medicine students are no different. Dr. Caceres told me that students collaborated with administrative leadership and faculty to pause and reflect on what could be done and what needed to be done to address challenges resulting from the pandemics. And despite busy schedules, students also served voluntarily on the admissions committee to help in efforts to enhance a holistic admissions process. Students also worked with faculty to review problem-based learning cases to address implicit bias. You stepped up and created and led sessions for first-year students by facilitating and modeling how to have crucial conversations, establishing the importance and value of community within the College of Medicine. So I say to you, the class of 2022, please don't underestimate the role you played in helping academic medicine manage a challenging time, and the role you will continue to play in ensuring that medicine does not forget hard lessons learned. I also want to celebrate more joyous milestones experienced by some of you. As the president said earlier, I also understand that there have been 2 weddings, 3 engagements, and a baby born during your tenure at the College of Medicine. So despite all of life's challenges, you continue to live your life. So I want to acknowledge that and say kudos to you. So to the class of 2022, you've made it to graduation. Residency training will force you to learn and move quickly. It will overwhelm and challenge you to adapt to new learning and clinical environments while managing complex patient cases, adapting to the ever-evolving world of clinical medicine, and transforming from a student into a practicing physician. But please don't forget all that you have accomplished as a medical student, particularly during the past 12 to 24 months, a time filled with uncertainty, trauma, high anxiety, yet also filled with hope, grit, and resilience. As you continue developing your professional identity as a physician and within your respective specialty, please don't lose or ignore your moral compass and the superpowers that you honed during your medical school experience and in your life. You will hit a wall, and we all hit walls, but know that you are resilient and give yourself permission to slow the process down of living life, to take care of yourself and your mental health. I just want to say that one more time. Please give yourself permission to slow down and take care of yourself. Nurture those relationships that nurture you. Establish relationships that in new communities while leaning on existing communities of mentors, role models, friends, and family members. Learn from each other. Be patient with yourself while pushing yourself to be better. And never forget, in my humble opinion, that medicine isn't really about you. It's fundamentally about caring for your patients in the communities you serve. Always be open and receptive to listening to and learning from your patients. I also challenge you to continue to be unsatisfied with the status quo. You are tomorrow's leaders in academic medicine or in whatever communities you ultimately serve. You can be a leader in modeling and championing equity in healthcare for all patients, regardless of their demographic background and status. So be accountable for what words and actions you engage in, and hold yourself and others responsible for fulfilling the noble ideals of medicine. So in closing, I just want to really share with you a quote that resonates with me that some of you have likely heard before. I hope this quote will have meaning for you. Maya Angelou wrote, and I quote, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." Close quote. As future physicians, I think this quote is relevant. For me, this quote represents the critical role that fairness, kindness, trust, humility, and integrity have in being a great doctor. When in doubt, just be kind. Your behavior and what you say will impact how others feel, and while they may not remember the encounter, they will remember how they felt after interacting with you. You have that power. I would even say that each of you is capable of that superpower. The choice is yours. Our community needs you. Medicine needs you. And I wish you all success, happiness, and peace during your residency and beyond. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Dr. Young. Ladies and gentlemen, we now come to the part of the program during which your degrees are conferred. Dr. Michelle Hawkins, the Vice Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, will begin the ceremony for the presentation of degrees. Dr. Hawkins.
As Vice
It's not on.
I want you to know this is the first graduation I've done, and all my fears came true. Thank you, President Kelly. As Vice Provost, I offer my sincere congratulations to each of you graduating today. When you leave this hall, you will be leaving as an alumni of the Florida Atlantic University. We are so very proud of you, and we wish you every success in life. We know that armed with your degree from Florida Atlantic University's Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine, you will be successful again. Congratulations. We will now begin the ceremony for the presentation of Doctor of Medicine degrees. I'd like to recognize the College of Medicine Dean Julie Politis. Please stand. And I would also like to recognize dear Sarah Wood, who will read the graduates' names, Dr. Jennifer Caceres and Dr. Elizabeth Gunderson, who will assist in the hooding the graduates. Will Doctors Wood, Caceres, and Gunderson please stand? And now will the candidates, the big time. Now will the candidates please stand? President Kelly, these candidates, having completed all the requirements for Doctor of Medicine degree, are recommended for that degree by the Dean and faculty of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine.
And by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon each of you the doctoral degree in medicine with all of the honors, rights, and privileges thereunto appertaining. Congratulations, new graduates.
Will the graduates please be seated so we may proceed with the ceremony? I request that our guests please remain seated throughout this ceremony so that the last graduate to cross the stage will receive the same recognition as the first graduate crossing the stage. Congratulations.
Dr. Mustari Begum Aki. Dr. Amritpal Singh Baga. He will be hooded by his sisters, Dr. Dalbir Baga, a College of Medicine alumna, and Dr. Gurpreet Baga. Dr. Olivia Kimberly Beal. Dr. Christine Kijung Biyun. Dr. Hunter Ryan Carlock. Dr. Sanjay Ram Chandrasekhar. He will be hooded by his father, Dr. Sundar Chandrasekhar. Dr. Justin Chang. Dr. Sonia Chistoff. Dr. Connor Jared Dalton. Dr. Larissa Diaz. Dr. Nicholas Bustamante Echeverry. Dr. Andrew Fammy. Dr. Jonathan Michael Freeman. Dr. Nemrata Gadella. She will be hooded by her mother, Dr. Padma Gadella. Dr. Christopher David Galvin. He will be hooded by his father, Dr. James Galvin. Dr. Natalie Ann Gahn. Dr. Vincenzo Andrew Giovinazzo. Dr. Vivian R. Haggerty. Dr. Catherine Acosta Hozinski. She will be hooded by her grandfather, Dr. Roberto E. Acosta, her father, Dr. Roberto Acosta, and her sister, College of Medicine alumna, Dr. Mary Acosta. Dr. Rohan Sandeep Jadwadkar. He will be hooded by his mother, Dr. Shakuntala Jadwadkar. Dr. Shireen Johanna Jayakumar. Dr. Catherine Michelle Johnson. Dr. Samantha Adriana Kastner. Dr. Megan Ann Koenig. Dr. Allison Haley Kahn. Dr. Jacob Quinton Comberg. Dr. Shiv Krishnaswamy. He will be hooded by his mother, Dr. Malati Krishnaswamy. Dr. Michael Peter Kacharik. Dr. Rihanna Yasmin Lalani. Dr. Patrick Huang Lei. Dr. Michael James Fisher Leary. Dr. Kevin Lewis Lukos. Dr. Gerard Alexander McKinnon. He will be hooded by his grandfather, Dr. Michael McKinnon. Dr. Joseph Mayenza. Dr. Joy McLaughlin. Dr. John Merriam. Dr. Ryan John Meyer. Dr. Sarah Frances Milrad. Dr. Faith Chiamaka Obimdike. Dr. Oluwatofunmi Ayomeda Oshodi. Dr. Ronald Poloka. Dr. Daniel Nolan Parker. Dr. Justin James Sagiv Patton. Dr. Sarah Rose Rabinowitz. Dr. Srikar Najasetti Ravi. Dr. Jacqueline Taylor Rice. Dr. Jacob Rosenfield will be hooded by his father, Dr. Jeffrey Rosenfield. Dr. Brooke Lauren Rothberg. Dr. Marcella Louise Rufo. And special guest, Dr. Yitzhak Isaac Schultz. He will be hooded by his father, an affiliate faculty, Dr. Stephen Schultz. Dr. Rebecca Keon Ching. Dr. Michael Aaron Simos. Dr. Hannah Lynn Slutsky. She will be hooded by her father, Dr. Brad Slutsky. Dr. Kylie Catherine Southall. Dr. Christina Athena Stamatiu. She will be hooded by her mother, Dr. Marcel Diamandis Stamatiu, and her father, Dr. Vasilis Stamatiu. Dr. Charles Tyler Suhan. Dr. Sarah Lacombe Twaddell. Dr. Leonardo Villarroel. He will be hooded by his father, Dr. Juan Villarroel. Dr. Zachary August Wettenstein. Dr. Kyle Alexander Derek Williams. Dr. Matthew Aaron Wilneff. He will be hooded by his sister and College of Medicine alumna, Dr. Jacqueline Wilneff Ponzek. Group hug. Dr. Brianna Lynn Yaffe. Dr. Stacy Michelle Young. And last but not least, Dr. William Meng Zhao. Congratulations to the class of 2022. I am so proud of you.
I now address you for the first time as graduates of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine at Florida Atlantic University. Congratulations, graduates!
Thank you, President Kelly. Now, Dr. Caceres and Gunderson will lead the students in reciting the Hippocratic Oath, which since time memorial has set forth the highest ethical and professional standards for practicing physicians. You will find the oath on the last page of your programs. Will all of our physician faculty members and any other physicians in the audience please rise and join us as we say the oath?
I do solemnly vow to that which I value and hold most dear, that I will honor the profession of medicine, be just and generous to its members, and to help sustain them in their service to humanity. That just as I have learned from those who preceded me, so I will instruct those who follow me in the science and the art of medicine. That I will recognize the limits of my knowledge and pursue lifelong learning to better care for the sick and to prevent illness. That I will seek the counsel and others when they are more expert so as to fulfill my obligation to those who are entrusted to my care. That I will not withdraw from my patients in their time of need. That I will lead my life and practice my art with integrity and honor, using my power wisely. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of my patients that is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep in confidence. That in whatever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick. That I will maintain this sacred trust, holding myself far aloof from wrong, from corrupting, from the tempting of others to vice. That above all else, I will serve the highest interests of my patients through the practice of my science and my art. That I will be an advocate for patients in need and strive for justice in the care of the sick. I now turn to my calling, promising to preserve its finest traditions with the reward of a long experience in the joy of healing. I make this vow freely and upon my honor. Congratulations, class of 2022.
This completes the conferral of degrees of the Charles E. Schmidt College of Medicine commencement ceremony at Florida Atlantic University. Once again, we would request that all remain in their seats until the platform party and all of the graduates have recessed from the auditorium. We request that family members meet the graduates outside of the auditorium so that everyone can exit quickly through the building. Thank you for your cooperation on that matter. The FAU Brass Ensemble of the Dorothy F. Schmidt College of Arts and Letters, Department of Music, will now lead us in singing the Florida Atlantic University alma mater. If you'd like to follow along, the words to the alma mater are listed on page 11 of your commencement program. Please rise.
With the Gulf Stream breezes blowing, the search for truth goes on. Seeking, learning, sharing knowledge, finding the meaning of the past that is gone. When nature beams with pleasant weather, we strive to learn to work together. Florida Atlantic, we praise and take